Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 81. This is the Week 5 waiver episode. I got my dog with me here, MFB.
You already know.
BBTB is currently... I can't even make anything up for him. I don't know where that fool is. Anyways, he's not here. It's just me and MFB. So hopefully we get more viewers this week. This is the waiver episode. We're going to go over the waivers for Week 5. A couple of good pickups. Some of them you should have had last week, but if you didn't, you can get them this week. Starting at QB, Sam Darnold, who went crazy against the Bucks this week, looking like a solid option, decent streaming option.
Definitely. If you have like Stroud or you're sadly starting Wentz for some reason and they all have buys, fire up Sam Darnold. I think I'd be perfectly happy having him.
Yeah, he looked pretty good, and that offense is starting to come together. They play against Jacksonville next week, so it'd be interesting to see how they play. But he's been doing solid. He's a good streaming option. Mac Jones, rostered in 4% of leagues. This is obviously contingent on if
Purdy's back.
Yeah, if Purdy comes back. He plays the Bucks, so Sam Darnold just threw for 341 and 4 touchdowns against them. So Mac Jones has been doing solid. So he's a good.
Mac Jones has been winning games for the Niners and could make it another shootout against Baker. So,
yeah, he did. I mean, Mac Jones against the Rams defense threw 342 yards and 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. So 49 pass attempts, 33 completions. So solid. I would consider. Last but not least, I threw in Dylan Gabriel, the rookie over on Cleveland.
I don't know if I'm co-signing this one, my brother.
Listen, brother, this is a look at the notes. If you read my notes, he did throw for 190 and 2 touchdowns against a tough Minnesota defense. Very risky, desperation play. You're not picking him up and starting him unless you must be down bad if that's what
I just think like, man, Pittsburgh D is solid. And also this is like from Vegas, the lowest scoring game of the week. So it's just not lining up too well, you know what I'm saying?
Very risky desperation play. I wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't advertise for it or advocate like, yeah, bro, go pick him up. Like, definitely not. But I'm just putting his name out there. Just keep him on people's radar. You never know.
Fair enough.
That's about it for quarterbacks. You could look at Tua. Played all right. He had 256 for 3. I just don't trust him. I mean, he 256 yards for 3 touchdowns against Carolina. It's just hard to trust Tua. They play the Chargers next week. So, not sure I really like that. Only rostered in 30% of leagues. But, he played solid. So, that'll about do it for quarterbacks. I'm going to move on to the wide receivers. Just a couple names here. Kendrick Bourne, who went for 10 for 142 on 11 targets Thursday Night Football. That's with no Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. So if those guys miss, or either of those guys miss, and Kendrick Bourne has to step up again, we may see another solid performance from him. So he's someone to keep an eye out on. Definitely worth an ad on waivers. I don't know how much fab I would spend on him. Maybe like, I'd say like
maybe like 10% tops.
Yeah, I was thinking 10 as well. So, yeah. Next on the list, Christian Watson. So Packers designated Watson for return from the physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. So he returned to practice today. which is Monday, October 6th. In the not in the offseason, on September 6th, Watson did sign a contract extension for up to $13.25 million. So if Green Bay signed him on an extension when they knew he was injured, they value him a lot, in my opinion. So they're gonna find ways to use him. They're gonna use him this year, and they're gonna find ways to get him the ball. So they would not have signed him with a contract extension if they were like, yeah, bro, you're cooked. Sorry, bro, get out of here. Like, we don't need you. Like, what was the reason for that? Unless they really were planning on using him or really felt like they needed him in the offense. I don't know. That's just what I took from it. You can tell me if I'm overreacting or if I'm thinking wrong or whatever.
No, I think that's fine. It's just it's very hard to time like, oh, this is the week to start Watson, and then he's probably gonna disappear. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, he's only
Dukes had a week. Kraft is gonna have weeks, and it's
so
just
he's
a
only
roulette.
rostered in 6% of leagues, and they gave him a contract extension even though he tore his ACL. So I'm like, these guys really clearly value him and they want to use him. All you need is to have him on your bench. If he pops off on your bench, cool. He's a trade piece. In the event that you need to flex him, like you just have no other options, he could go out and get you. He could go out and have himself a good week. So I just think it's not a bad option. I wouldn't throw a lot of fab his way, probably like 5% for him, but he's
Yeah.
just kind of like a stash. And I think technically you can put him in your IR spot still because he's not questionable and he's still technically like out.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't even consume a roster spot. So it may be worth to just pick him up and just have him on your bench. If anything happens to any of those guys on the Packers, if another receiver goes down or something happens, then his value goes up. That's it for receivers. I feel like I'm missing someone for the receivers.
Maybe like Slayton or
Yeah, after that
there was a random
fumble.
guy, Florney. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about the guy from Dallas. So I wouldn't chase that. He had 6 for 114.
Yeah.
2 rush attempts for 10 yards on 9. He had 9 targets, 6 for 114 against the Jets. I don't know if I'm chasing that. I think who was it that was out? Turpin. Turpin was out.
Come on, Turpin. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you another one. Parker Washington.
Oh, from the Jaguars?
From the Jags.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if he's really what was his stats, or is he coming back from injury?
I don't know. He caught a touchdown in the game.
Oh, okay. All right, something to think about. I think that's could garner some attention.
I mean, it's not nothing crazy. I mean, like we're digging for scraps here, bro. We could move.
He's 1% rostered. He had 3 targets, 2 for. You could have told me the stat line: 2 for 16 and a touchdown on 3 targets. Yeah, my brother, he's good on the waivers. Not worth looking at. Not really worth the roster spot. Let's move on from wide receivers. I don't have anyone else. If we miss anyone, just let us know on the Discord. If there's anyone else that you're interested in picking up off of waivers. RBs, the biggest one, in my opinion, is Marion Hampton went down. He's on IR, ankle injury, I believe. So the next man up in that RB running room is Hassan Haskins, who's rostered in only 1% of leagues, and then Kamani.
You're sure it's not Kamani Vidal?
He was relegated back to the practice squad after the game, so he's now back on the practice squad. Haskins is the number 3
Vidal.
Yes.
What?
You can look it up. Do your research, brother.
So you're telling me the RB gets hurt and then he goes down to practice squad rather than elevated?
So I think after the game is over,
yeah,
before they place
on him on
Hampton
IR.
on IR,
yeah,
they have to relegate him to the practice squad after the game is over to I don't know how it works in NFL and roster position or whatever, but he technically, if you go to his name in Yahoo and check his status, he is technically listed as inactive, coach's decision, or not on roster. So the report says that he's on the
Oh, damn. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
on the practice squad. So I'm sure they will elevate him because of the situation. Like they need more than one RB.
Yeah.
Who knows who else they signed to their practice squad? But technically, right now, Hassan Haskins is the number one.
Okay.
I don't know how it's gonna go. So both these guys
Yeah.
are worth an ad because we don't know who ends up, like we saw with the next player we're going to talk about, who is Michael Carter for the Arizona Cardinals. DeMercado is the number 3. They brought Michael Carter up from the practice squad, and he went to work. 39% roster.
He was the guy for Arizona.
Yeah, he had himself a nice game. And so, yeah, you for these two guys, Hassan Haskins and Kimani Vidal, you want to add both or one of. I would at this moment I would take Haskins over Vidal, but you do want to at least get one of these guys because you just never know who they end up running. They could do a split backfield. They could just Haskins goes
You
out.
got to throw the dart at one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Haskins goes out, fumbles the ball. Vidal takes over, and he's way more efficient on the ground. They're like, all right, we're just gonna stick with Vidal. He's our guy. You know what I mean? So, try to pick up either of these guys. One of them is going to be worth something. But yes, Michael Carter only rostered in 39% of leagues. He's that dude. DeMercado, the terrorist, who just dropped the ball. I really just every time I have a chance to talk about the Cardinals, I have to. So DeMercado, like, I don't understand this weird, like, desire to just mess up when you're not the number 1, when you're just like the number 2 or not even number 2, number 3. Like we saw Adonai Mitchell of the Colts, who lost them that game because he's the number 3 receiver. He only played over Alec Pierce because he was out with a concussion, who played in that game, ran all the way to the goal line, and then just dropped the ball intentionally. So it's like, dude, you saw someone in the NFL do that. You are in the NFL. You had to have heard about it. And you go out and do the same thing following week. And you're the RB3, brother. You're not the star, brother. They didn't bring you in like, hey, bro, you're our guy. No. They have to give you the ball. You have to be the guy. They have no one else besides Michael Carter. And he had a great long run. It's like 70 yards or something. And just
nutty run.
Bro, I just like I don't
After
get
that,
what it is.
It was downhill. All right, is your rant done, bro? Yeah, don't add Amari DeMercado.
Do not add DeMercado. He's for sure
rostered way higher than Carter
because he's the number 3. It's like,
people,
you have this opportunity.
People went through the depth chart, but if you studied well enough and you read the reports and this and that, then you kind of knew Michael Carter was going to get most of the work, and pretty sure he's earned most of the work now in Arizona.
100%. He's definitely earned it. He's earned the number 1. DeMercado. Actually, if the Cardinals, I would actually be very excited and very happy if the Cardinals went ahead and just released DeMercado. Just off the roster, goodbye, sayonara. I'm straight up. Teach him a lesson. Tell him, hey, brother.
All right, good. Let's move to the tight ends.
So that's it for RBs. No one else really worth rostering that I can think of. On to tight ends. I put AJ Barner in here, rostered in 2% of leagues, just because he had the 2 touchdown game. I don't know if I'm chasing it. He may be worth just a look in deeper leagues. Next on the list, we have Theo Johnson, who is worth more of a look. He seems to be stepping up more, and Jackson Dart seems to like him. I had mentioned in our other episode that he may be more of a safety blanket for Jackson Dart. His first reads covered, just dumps it off to Theo, gets himself a couple of yards. He didn't have a monster game in terms of yardage, but he did have 2 touchdowns. So he's worth an ad. He may end up being a solid play going forward. They do play Philly next week. This is a divisional matchup, but it's not a good matchup for tight ends. But I mean, tight end landscape, it's hit or miss. So he may be worth an add. I wouldn't spend a lot of fab, probably 5%, maybe 10% if you're really desperate. I did add Jake Tonges on here from the 49ers because Kittle is expected to be out for week 6. He has a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. So 1 touchdown in each of his last 2 games. And they're playing against Tampa Bay, which we saw, AJ Barner scored 2 touchdowns against them. So if Tonjes can do the same thing, then he may be a good, desperation
Yeah, if
play.
Kittle's still out, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Uh, Another tight end to look at is Mason Taylor of the New York Jets, who's only rostered in 14% of leagues. He had week 3, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 18 yards. Week 4, 7 targets, 5 receptions for 65. Week 5 against Dallas, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 67. He seems to be that guy that they're looking to besides Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is the only true passing threat on that team. And so teams know that. And so they're going to obviously cover him. And so Mason Taylor seems to be benefiting from that in that he's the only other good option on the team, or he's the next best option on the team. So definitely worth a pickup. He probably is more of a 10 to 15% fab drop on him. Of these guys, I'd probably rank them Mason Taylor and Theo Johnson, and then Tonjes and then Barton in that order.
Yeah, I would have it about the same. But I wouldn't be mad if you want to get T.O. more than Mason Taylor. Um, just because I feel like a more red zone threat.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah,
Mason
Taylor
Taylor,
is,
like Kimo said, great option just because he's pretty much the second pass catcher in the offense.
yeah, I would say that Taylor does have a tough matchup next week. Looks like they're playing, where are they playing? London? Denver and Jets?
Uh,
They're playing
I
somewhere
forget. Damn,
overseas.
they threw a lot of London games now, huh?
Yeah, they're doing it almost weekly now. They're trying to, I don't know, become relevant overseas or in Europe.
It's in London, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Mason Taylor has 0 touchdowns, like MFB said. He's not really an end zone threat. He did have a 2-point conversion, so maybe they throw him more end zone looks. That'd be interesting to see. But both those guys definitely worth an add. I value Taylor more in that he is the only other option besides Garrett Wilson. But that's it for tight ends. Let's go ahead and move into some kicker and defense options, and then we'll go ahead and close this out. Chris Boswell for the Steelers, who ended up finishing, I think, the number 4 kicker last year. Rostered in only 45% of leagues coming off the bye week here. So he's always pretty automatic. I would pick him up if you need a kicker this week. And then Cam Little of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who scored a 52-yarder on Monday Night Football. So he was the one that scored the 70-yarder in the preseason, right?
It might have been him. I don't
Okay.
recall.
Okay. And then you have McManus also coming off the bye, but he's only 7% rostered. So if you want to pick up Brandon McManus against Cincinnati, Packers are probably going to just absolutely dominate the Bengals, and so there will be a lot of kicking opportunities for Brandon McManus. So he's definitely worth an add. Only 7% rostered. For defenses, we have Patriots versus the Saints. Patriots are roster. What's the roster percentage for Patriots? I'm like blinding myself literally every time I switch the screens here. Jeez Louise. I'm looking at all players. I think they are rostered in 8% of leagues, so very widely available. And then you have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Arizona Cardinals. Please go ahead and fire up the Colts. I'm not gonna lie, I do see Arizona putting up some scores here. I'm not gonna lie. I think they lose the game. I hope they lose the game. But yeah, that's a
They'll put
bit
up points, but they'll lose the game.
100%. 100% they
Yeah.
lose. Vegas Raiders play Tennessee and Cam Ward, who's looked pretty cheeks, who got bailed out by the Arizona Globetrotters and just threw the game away. So that one. One more defense to look at here, if they're still available, only rostered in 47% of leagues because they're coming off the bye, is Green Bay. Plays against Cincinnati. And Jake Browning is
Oh yeah,
like
that's like the
Jameis
most
Winston,
fire
but
one I would say.
like the Walmart Jameis Winston. So like just throwing picks, not even throwing very good. He's not even really slinging it. He's just throwing picks, fumbles, whatever. That Green Bay is only rostered in 47% of leagues. Definitely worth an ad. And they get Arizona too the following week. Oh, it's magnificent. That's about it for defenses. Anyone else you can think of? Mr. MFB?
Nah, that's all.
Okay. Do we miss anyone? Tight ends, RBs, wide receivers? Anyone?
Not that I could think of.
Okay. I feel like, I don't know why I feel like I'm missing a player somewhere in here. But anyways, if you guys that are listening notice, hey, what about this guy? What about so-and-so? Just message us in the Discord. Let us know. Like, hey, I think you guys are missing so-and-so. And we'll let you know either that we missed him or we just are, that player is not worth it in our opinion. But that'll do it for the waiver episode. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.